More than 20 years ago, I had a brief moment of spontaneous happiness. And in that moment, I did something I've never done before or since. I literally jumped for joy. But there was another cliche that I should have taken literally. I didn't look before I leaped. As I came back down, my left foot landed half on the edge of a book. My foot bent under me and I broke a bone in my foot. Eventually it healed, but sometimes I still get pain in that foot. Seems an unfair price to pay for a brief moment of happiness. I am absolutely feeling a bit tired, but sure, let's go to Busan. Time to head off on another trip to visit some of the heritage-listed old trees of Korea. My destination is Busan, and honestly, this time the trees are mostly an excuse. If it is my last year in Korea, there are some places I want to see again, and Busan is my favorite city in Korea. I didn't bother to check the weather forecast before I left, and as my bus moved down the highway, the TV news highlighted that Korea was currently in a heat wave. At Busan Sasang Terminal, I got a coffee and tried to figure out my plans. They were typically vague and hazy. I wanted to see bonsai stuff and see some places from my past. But my searches of the Korean cultural heritage site had turned up a 400-year-old black pine in a park in Busan, and interestingly, it was the only place I've found with two listed trees in the same place. Further investigation suggested that there might also be a bonsai cafe at Gwangalli Beach. There were some articles from 2024, but their Instagram appeared abandoned and I could find no map listing. It was mid-afternoon by then and I was sweating through my clothes, so I decided to head straight to Gwangalli. Gwangalli had changed. There were a lot more high-rise units and holiday rentals than I remembered, but I managed to find an old-school motel pretty easily, the Blue Moon Motel. It was clean enough, the bed was comfortable, the air conditioning worked, and there was a generous supply of freebies in the room. We've got Perio toothpaste, feminine cleanser, cleansing foam, razor, a comb, a serum for women, some soap, and a couple of condoms. They'll come in handy. After resting up for a moment, I decided to go look for the Bonsai coffee shop. I walked along the beach for a while, noting the really cool black pines that line the shore, a reminder that black pines are a coastal tree. The Bonsai cafe I was looking for was called Jeonmo, but their Instagram hadn't been updated in a year. It did have an address though, so there was no reason not to go there and check if it still existed. It did not still exist. All that was left was a rusting sign, a very dead juniper in the window, and a familiar watering can. Jeonmo Busan stands today as a cautionary tale to all those who think of turning their bonsai hobby into a business. For now, I just added the abandoned bonsai coffee shop to my list of signs about what I should do with my future, although I don't know exactly what it means. I headed back to Gwangalli Beach and went looking for a place I remembered, the carnival at Gwangalli. But it too was gone, replaced by high-rise apartments. I got a coffee and looked out at the beach. Gwangalli is less well known than Busan's most famous beach, Haeundae. It was always more of a place for Koreans, while Haeundae was a place for foreigners. That's changed a little, but the spirit of Gwangalli is still there. I got a hamburger and went and sat on the beach. In the evening, all the young Koreans come down to the shore to get one of the most popular shots for their Instagrams and KakaoTalk profiles. I thought a lot about past times, past people, all the people I came to Busan with in my first adventurous year in Korea. Now they too are just people I get an occasional cultivated glimpse of on Facebook or Instagram, or not at all. I have a history in this place, but it's as far from me now as I am from the young Koreans getting their careful selkas in front of the Gwangan Bridge. It was nice to sit there, though. I sat there for a couple of hours, watching the ocean, watching the people. Then I went back to my motel. The next morning was hot again. I left my motel for Jwasuyeong Historical Park, a couple of subway stops away. The park is built on the site of a 16th century walled naval fortress. Eventually I found the 400-year-old black pine of Jwasuyeong. It was big but a little disappointing. It was a straight, not particularly aesthetic black pine that forked high on the trunk before branching into a broad canopy. From a bonsai perspective, it didn't offer much, with that unfortunate high split in the trunk. The other culturally significant tree in the park was far more impressive, a 500-year-old Muku tree. This sign describes it as being in the elm family, but from what I've read, this isn't the current designation. Instead, it's closely related to the hackberries in the family Cannabaceae, a family which also includes the plant you'd think. This was an impressive tree with a huge amount of scarring, decay, and regrowth on the trunk. It made me think about scars and decay in bonsai. There is an idea that deciduous trees should have a scar-free trunk, but there also has to be a place for trees like this one. Nothing gets through life without scars, these markers of the past, and you need to respect that. Like a lot of bonsai rules, I think it's best to follow them, or go wildly and confidently in the other direction. After this, I felt in serious danger of overheating, so I made my way back to the subway without lingering in the garden. There was one more stop I wanted to make. I took the subway line a couple of stops further on to Haeundae Beach. I spent a lot of time here in my first year in Korea. In fact, I had my birthday party that year on this beach. It's a night I remember well, with good friends in a good year, a special time in my life. Of course, all those people are gone now. Haeundae has changed too, but it was always a more commercial, touristy place, so I didn't feel the change as much. By now, my left foot was starting to hurt badly from that injury all those years ago. I walked down to the ocean and bathed my foot in the cool water. I came back and went to check out a strange place, the small arcade under the Busan aquarium, a place I remembered where we always used to retreat to find a convenient bathroom or get out of the sun for a moment. The speaker system started playing a Muzak version of My Heart Will Go On, a truly awful piece of music, but in that moment it hit me hard as I remembered things that were past. I made my way towards the subway. One thing I remembered well was still there, the carny game where you tried to pop a balloon with a dart to win a prize. I was happy to see it. I wondered how many thousands of suckers that place had taken in over the years with its crooked game, its half-inflated balloons and blunt darts. I hobbled back towards the subway to head home. Part of me wanted to keep going, to keep traveling, go to new cities, have new experiences. It occurred to me that while I had been thinking about memories, I had overlooked that I was making new ones too, and that I had actually enjoyed myself and had experiences. That I love doing this, traveling around in Korea, and I'm good at it. I've always had a little problem with happiness, you see, experiencing it only in moments, with echoes that live on. I need to get better at seeing the things around me when they're happening, instead of thinking about the things that are gone.